I just got a question kind of related to Roastmasters.
Sure.
With our kind of setup, 2-minute planned speeches, and I'm starting to understand the importance of shared stories and shared experiences and talking from the heart. And do you think you're able to practice that and able to grow with that with the current setup we have with the time limit?
If you want some feedback on the sort of format and structure that you guys have put together here. Again, I've already gone through some of the things that I think are great. The informality makes it safe. The authenticity and vulnerability makes it real. From a structural point of view, 2-minute speeches are great to be able to get up and practice being on the floor. It's nice to probably have one person featured that is doing at least a 5-minute each month, because you guys learn as much from listening to these people as you do getting up here yourself, yes? So I would encourage you now to keep the 2-minute sort of vignettes there. From a perspective of having one person showcase, should we say, which would include making sure that they're putting the feedback in specifically that they got last time and being accountable to that. Otherwise it's just, it doesn't really mean a lot. It's good in the moment, but there's no way of formalising and capturing it and allowing that to be embodied to make a difference in your speaking skills, if that's what you're here for. From a feedback perspective, having watched you guys tonight, I would encourage you to probably put a little bit of structure around that as well. Again, you've already got the ground rules, right? There's no boundaries, you can say what you want. I think it's nice to remind people at the start, Sean, that it's what I would call their model of the world, because we sometimes get sucked into listening to somebody else giving feedback and taking it at a literal level, when somebody else here could say 180 degrees the same thing, and now I'm confused. So remind people that it's your model of the world that you're feeding back to them, not necessarily the truth, should we say. But from a point of formalising it, it's always great to give something constructive first. Is that what was great? Then here's what I would do to improve. And come from a place of solution. I had several people tonight say, well, this is what was wrong, and this is what was wrong, and this is what was wrong. That's great because you need that level of honesty. I would encourage you to have a rule, and adopt it or not. If you're going to give something feedback that is not positive, make sure you follow it up with a solution. Because that way, you're giving them something useful. Well, you didn't really have much structure to that, so what I would encourage you to do is, filling the gap. When you got up and you didn't really have eye contact with many people, so I felt disconnected. So what I'd encourage you to do is go around and give probably to each person from time to time and make eye contact so you get that level of connection. Okay? You see my point? So that's the covering from solution. So it's not just a Roastmasters. It's a way to be able to add value under the umbrella of I'm willing to take you down, but I'm not from a point of I've got nothing else to offer while you're there. But from a point of, bang, here's what I would do, here's my suggestion for bringing it up. And then make it 2 or 3 different ones. That makes sense? So start off with something constructive. What was great about that was. However, what I would also do to improve is when you did this, bang, 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 what I would do is, and just that little bit of structure, I think will start to really add some value to when you're giving feedback to people here. Does that make sense? What's your feedback?
I agree.
And play with it, find out what works. As I say, I don't have the answers. I just have probably a little more experience.
Cool. Great.
Alrighty. Yes?
First, I'd like to say that everyone else, I think speaking from the heart is really touched us in an emotional way. I think everyone moves forward with what you said, and I think that's great. Who for you has been your mentors and your role models? It seems that you started out in business from a young age and seem to have adopted this secret attitude. But I mean, who for you was your driver, or was it people around you, or was it people you?
I love having questions like that, so thank you. I was very pleased and privileged to have several mentors, great mentors, as I sort of work my way into the world. And I'm also a believer that when the student is ready, the teacher appears. And the fact that I wasn't ready for quite a while means I probably missed a lot of teachers. But if you go to my website is petersage.com. I've got a list of recommendations and people on both books and different people that have affected my life. One of the gentlemen that I will put up front is a guy called George Zalicki. George, I've not spoken to George for a while, but George is a phenomenal man, and his psychology on life really affected me. I listened to him get up in front of an audience of 600-700 people when I was 18, never spoken, I was 17, never spoken before, and heard him talk about personal development and psychology in a way that blew me away, really opened some doors. And I started to study his philosophy, and became, after a while, we actually became very good friends, and it was very privileged to be able to have that level of interaction. But here's the deal, you don't have to know these people. You ever heard of the concept of virtual mentors? Napoleon Hill was a big one for that. He used to have his board meeting in his mind, and literally you put yourself into a place where you're relaxed enough and you go into your whatever board meeting or meeting at the beach with these guys and have people that you respect and ask them questions and see what comes back. The unconscious is a very interesting and powerful tool. Now I've had amazing mentors on what I call my inner council, which if you verbalise in certain circles will put you in the loony bin. You'd be amazed at some of the things that Yoda's come up with, trust me. But no, I encourage study mentors. And here's the thing with mentors. There's a difference between mentors, mentees, and what I would call heroes and groupies. Some people, and I'm going to work with an organisation, spend a lot of time with Anthony Robbins. You're probably familiar with Tony, as Sean said, I'm a trainer for Tony. Fraser, my good friend here, is also a senior trainer with Tony, and Fraser's been a great source of inspiration to me over the years as well in our organisation. And I think we've both seen different sides of that. We've seen the people that come to the Tony seminars, and if Tony says go jump off a cliff, they'll jump off a cliff. Yeah? That ain't healthy. Right? That's like, where's the Kool-Aid? Right? You also have people that come and say, I'm going to sit back, and I'm going to listen with an open mind, and I'm going to take out what's relevant for me. And I'm going to come over here and do the same with somebody else. And the best metaphor I can give you for that is learning how to play an instrument. How many people here play an instrument of some level? Right? Okay, a few of you. Let's say, what do you play?
Yeah.
Piano, fabulous. So when you start to learn to play the piano, you start off by learning to play other people's music, this one I play. Yeah. Because that is the path that you're following in that way. You've got no reference. However, when you start to get good and accomplished a pianist, you start to compose your own music and play your own notes of life. But they're influenced by a lot of the teachers that you studied from originally. That's exactly how mentors should be. Take out, study a whole different range of mentors. I have several in many different areas. Some living, some not, some virtual, some made up, some I'm good friends with. And my philosophy is Peter Sage makes up, is made up out of the kaleidoscopic, unique tapestry of all those experiences that I've had the privilege of being able to be touched by those mentors. But you can never pigeonhole me as one of those different people. Now, I mean, I don't want to be. Like I said earlier, if somebody comes up, I want to be as good as you one day. No, you don't. You want to be as good as you. They're trying to be the best you could be, Laura, and then all of a sudden, bang. Everybody else will want to emulate that in their own way. Does that make sense? So George Zalek is a great one. Tony's obviously a great mentor. In business, Jay Abraham is a great mentor of mine. These are all listed on my website.